Well, hello, Christine. Yes, you are the first one on, but it is early. I want to get started. I was going to do the recording. I did the recording for the second part of Be Happy. I just do not do great with recordings. The noise in the house, just everything that goes on, it makes it very difficult for me to it makes it very difficult for me to record. Hi, well, nice to meet you too. So if you remember, Be Happy was, we did the ring binders, then I did the chipboard albums. If you purchase the full kit, we have some very sweet kits left. Then you get the pre-cut chipboard. The album cover tutorial is the Be Happy album cover tutorial. So I won't be doing that again. What we're going to do is we're going to be putting together the inside of our album. So if you've already pre-made this, then you're that many steps ahead. And the Be Happy is different than the Berry Sweet. Excuse me, how rude. You can go back and look at the Be Happy Doodlebug. It's also in the playlist. This will also be in the playlist. So this one, we have a pocket and we're going to make our tags. I did do a walkthrough earlier. This gets long. Okay. And it's just going to be a nice summer place for our photos. And this kit is still available. You get the 3-ring binder also tutorial. And I did use 2 magnets in here. So I'm just doing the quick walkthrough. And we're going to get started on creating a nice big pocket there. And I know Doodlebug paper is super happy. And this was the final album in our tutorial series when we did the 3-ring binder. And so you can go back into my playlist. Then we have tags on this side, and then we have pockets for tags. And I can now put tags in there because we had to use also our paper, if you remember, for our 3-ring binder. I just want to grab the large magnets. I thought I did. And good thing I've ordered more in, so we do have them on the website. I'm going to use 2 large. Nikki, hello, Nikki. I did look at your screenshot, and I didn't quite look at it. I'll look at it the rest of the way when I get done here, because we're going to do the B. No, this is Berry Sweet. It was Be Happy and Berry Sweet. So I'm going to use 2 of the large basic gray magnets. I'll just actually leave those out. And let's get started. I've got my measurements. And remember, there's not a written tutorial. And I did get everything pre-cut. So you can always go back and watch this. It will be in the playlist with the Berry Sweet. It's not there right now, but it will be. Oh, they're so pretty in person too. So this was the album cover that we created for Berry Sweet, and then it's the same one that was in your kit, and it's a 6.5 by 8.5. So all of that's on your, you can go over to the Be Happy tutorial. So we're going to start by working on the inside. This is more of a folio where Be Happy was the album. So we're going to start by building our left hand side. You're going to see a lot of me this weekend. We're going to actually be starting the Nature's Haven chipboard album after this. I'll take a break, get something to eat, and I'm going to come back live, and we're going to get started. So first, we're just going to create this left-hand side. We're going to start with the big pocket and then these flaps. We're going to go ahead and put them all on, and then I will go back and we'll do the matting. Okay? So you'll need that stuff. Alrighty, let me get my pieces here. The first one And I had some problems with my cutter. I need to make sure those edges are really bad. I had to change my blade. I wish I had room to have my big dolly cutter here on my desk, but I don't. Okay, I think we're cleaned up. Let's start with our pocket. I'm using still the Summer Ivory. Hi, well, yes, happy Saturday. It's a crafting Saturday for sure. The pocket that's going to go down, it's a vertical pocket, and it's going to be 6 by 9.5, but I do, trim mine a little bit short. So I like to put it in my cutter, and the reason I cut it short, I like it to fit nice and tight and neat within the perimeters of my album cover. So I'll take it to 9.5, then I'll just back up a hair and trim it, literally just a hair, but it makes everything just fit that much nicer. And I may not be fully awake. Here it's 9 o'clock, but I meant to start earlier and it didn't work. Okay, we're going to start with our 9.5 across the top, and we're going to score it 1/2 inch. And I want you to turn to the 6-inch side and score it 1/2 inch. The pocket will also be the base that we build our flaps on. Back to 9.5, and we're going to score it 1/2 inch. I washed my mat that I put under here so things don't slip, and I need to, it's drying, but it really helps this not slip. Okay, we're going to burnish the 2 sides first and make sure it fits okay. So with my album cover, about 1/8 of an inch from the hinge, I'm checking the top and bottom. Looks really good. So I don't have to do any adjustments. And we're going to miter those corners. And besides, when I did the recording for Be Happy, the recording part, well, it didn't want to load. So it took a day to load it up onto YouTube. And then I don't get to see you guys. I don't get to have you in the audience and actually feel like we're crafting together. So I just don't like recording by myself. I like to have you guys here. It just makes it so much more fun. Even when our conversations go left ball field, that's when the recording after this, you can fast forward through. So I like that. Just checking that my corners are good, so when I add my tags or glue it down, that they're fine. So my album does go this way. My pocket's vertical, but I turn it so I can actually see the placement here where that's going to go. Okay, let's glue our pocket down, or however you like to, what you like to use to put it down with. Can you guys believe we're in August? Monica, it won't. We did a binder project at a retreat, and the problem is we do a project basically a day, and there isn't time to do a full binder project unless, let me tell you, when you see other retreats that do this events, everything is pre-cut for you in little squares. Literally, if you, especially if you watch Tiffany, she was at the one here by another company. Everything is pre-cut for you in little tiny squares, and you just are able to slap it down. Lizzie, I did see your comment on one of my other albums. I liked it this morning, so I knew to go back to answer you. And so I was not ignoring you. You guys, I can ship to international. My website's not set up for it, and I'll tell you why. When we now set up our websites for international, we have to charge in advance tariffs, and VATs and different things like that. And I found that when I was doing that, they weren't always right. And then what was happening, you guys were in international was prepaying the VATs, or every country's so different. You were prepaying. And here's what happened. You were getting charged again, and it was causing so much issues. That's why I do not have international shipping again. I mean, off on my website, but you can contact me and we can definitely see what it'll cost to ship to you. Just so you know, when it arrives, you do have additional fees that I'm just not aware of. So yes, we can get together and I can ship. I've got some of this kit left, the complete kit, and it'll just be a matter of the cost. That's all. So anyway, the binder ring album. So like I said, we did it once and it we couldn't get it done. But other events, I don't pre-cut your papers. When you come to my events, you get the full kits like what you buy, and then you have extra paper. So the only way I can do that, and so maybe I should take a survey, is do you guys want all your papers pre-cut and you just glue them down? And it's pre-made for you basically. And I've seen those albums up close and personal. They don't use all of the paper. You get 10, they usually do 10 pages, and then they take the rest of the stuff out. So that's something that, I can definitely consider and look at if you would like a ring binder at an in-person event, because but they have people that are pre-cutting everything. And I have some of those kits. I've bought the virtual ones, and you have no choices. You have to use what has been pre-cut. Okay, let's do the bottom first, which is going to be our pull-out. This will be a piece of leftover lace. I'm not kidding, Monica. At one time, no, I don't want to do that. I was thinking I've got some kits I can show you from those events, because I've done the virtual to see myself. So I'm not just talking out of my ears. But I don't want to do that to another company, because I totally respect what they do, and that's, some people really love that. Okay, we're going to create our little accordion. So watch videos. Yeah, I like to cut myself too. We're going to want next. So I'm rambling on. Remember, there's a recording. You can fast forward. And so we do a lot of chattering and talking when we're live. But just know you have a recording. You can fast forward all this. So we want to create, I'm just making sure I cut 3. Yes, I did. These are 3 7/8 by 5 7/8. Yes, they are a different size because of fitting everything onto the pocket so that it was nice and neat. So I have 3 7/8 by 5 7/8 inch pieces that we're now going to work with. And we want to score these with the 5 7/8 across the top of our scoreboard. I want you to score it 1/2 inch. Don't worry, I won't go on because I know I got off track here. I'll wait for you if you're cutting your paper with me. Now, if you aren't cutting with me, you can please write. You guys, this is how I do my tutorials. They are handwritten, very old-fashioned. Score it, have, and they get typed up for actual retreats or events. So please know that I am different. If you're just new to my tutorials, have a notebook because you do have to do some writing down. Once again, 3 3 7/8 by 5 7/8, 5 7/8 across the top. You're going to score all 3 at 1/2 inch. And now we want to go ahead and burnish those score lines so that they're nice and neat. And you know, Lizzie, one day I hope I get over to a scrapbook store in the UK somewhere so we can do an in-live class, in-person class. I think that would be so fun. I had one slotted once, and it just, you know, we had other circumstances that happened, and I wasn't able to go, but I definitely will be looking into that for next year. Can't believe this year it's almost in the last quarter. Okay, do burnish those scores. And I would too. I'd love to meet all our international crafters. Okay, so I have an idea of which way it's going. It's kind of deceiving because this back piece is not one of our flaps. This is just the pocket, and we mat on top of the pocket. We mat to meet the same size here. So we have, these are our 3 accordions. When putting them together, okay, this first one is going to attach. So we may have to burnish them different, and that's okay. There we go. I'm just going to lay it out first. So my 1/2 inch is on my left. My 1/2 inch is on my right. That's going to lay down on top, kind of like this train here. Same thing. They'll all attach here. Okay. I like to double check everything. Of course, we'll refold. That's never a problem to refold. The main thing is we're going to attach this to our book so it folds over. Okay. So we're going to do that first. We are actually going to build this somewhat on the book. We want to make sure then see we have just a little tiny 1/8 of an inch or so that you can see underneath there. So we're actually going to build right on top of this pocket. This is our pocket, and that's that back of our pocket. And I did match it to the bottom edge of the pocket. So go ahead and flip that open. Now it's easier, just really quite easier to do it this way. Like I said, my blade was, wearing out, and I should have changed it before I cut this. Get that out of the microphone. Don't like fuzzy edges. Okay. This one will sit right on top, hinge to the left. Just making sure everything's straight and matches. I have the hinge to the right, and again, it will sit now on top. It's okay if you change it during the live. If I change what, Nikki? I forget what I say 1 minute to the next. If I change what? Oh, the blades. Oh, the blades. You know what? It was last night because I wanted to get everything cut. And I'd been cutting 49 market paper. So the 49 market paper being so heavy, it does eat up your blades. And just know that when we work with our 49 market, because I was doing the beach album. And that walkthrough I did yesterday. So we'll be starting that also very soon. All right. Once we get this all down, this is how it should open. Let me kind of show you guys. So as long as you put this first hinge down on your pocket towards the back, your next hinge on the left, right. So remember, left, right. Or right, left, right. Okay. And it does make it easier to actually build it on here. So to help this stay down, I did use a magnet. I used a large. You could use a ribbon, or actually it's fine by itself. It will lay down, but I'm going to use 2 sets of magnets in here, I believe. Did I use one up here? Yeah. I did on my original one use one at the top. I'll show you. So I did use 3, I think. And it just helps. See, I used one up here too. It does help it stay down. Whoops. We need that. So I'll open the top flap. We have to have one here, and I'm going to put it in the middle. Then I'll open, let it grab. Don't put it back like that because sometimes your paper shifts. There we go. Okay, and then that will hold that nice and tight. Now from your kit, we had the red. I had some left. This was from the ribbon on the front, and I actually had some left over. Cut that end up. So I'm just going to cut about a 1-inch piece And if you have the kit, you should have that left over too, because we're going to fold it so it becomes a tab. Okay, guys, if you're new here, I have beagles that snore, and I'm sorry. So you will hear them in the background. It sounds like they're all three asleep. Nikki, I believe Kim on our design team made this for my birthday one year. The blue, or I'm pretty sure it was Kim, or she may have made. I have so many. I think no. I think she made this one. This one I love too. The rose gold. And I've got a tutorial. We've got some tutorials, old ones, on making these. I just don't do the dangles that well. Okay, so in the center, I'm just going to use a piece of score tape. And we did a pokey tool on one of our virtual retreats. Tiffany did. So I want that to be covered. And you can actually use any ribbon. So where do we want that to hit? There. I think we did one for our Disney virtual retreat. And then once I add my cardstock, that will hold it down. Let me see if that sticks out enough. Oh, yeah. So it's just enough so you can grab it. Okay. Good morning, Miss Janice. We're going to now create our top piece. Looks like that I just used white matting there. For a minute, I was going to say, wait a minute, I didn't use white cardstock. It's white matting. Okay, let's grab those pieces and parts. Okay, the first one we want is going to be 6 inches by 4.5. 6 by 4, 5 by 5, and 4.5 by 4.5. Start with our 4.5 because it doesn't matter where you score. 4.5 across the top. This one I'll just score a 4 because it's right there. Okay, my 5 by 5 again is just a perfect square. So you can score it 1/2 inch or 4.5 inches. But our 4.5 by 6, we need a little gusset on this. And we want to score at 1/2. I'm just seeing why I put 5 1/4 and 5 1/2 and 3/4. So it's either, I wonder why I usually don't write them down that way. So it's 1/2 and 3/4. Oh, I have pokey tool pieces. We have them. They aren't online because we are actually going to use them for this retreat. So, Nikki, if you have another order in the future going out, I have the pokey tool pieces. Okay, let's burnish the score line with the little gusset. Oh, never mind. Janet, wait. Oh, Nikki, wait till you meet Janice. Nikki's coming from International, and Janice says she's got you. And Janice is the one who's made some of our garbage cans. And she's made, if you go online, we still have some of the zipper pouches. Oh, wait a minute. I don't know if we do. We might. I'll have to look again, but I know we have some in the store. So Janice is also a fabulous sewer and quilter. Okay, I've got my little gusset. I still want to go ahead and burnish those corners. And Janice is our prize patrol at the retreats. We've missed her. Okay. Once again. Oh, Monica, you guys, you're going to love her. Once again, we build on the base. This right here is the pocket. And we decorate the pocket to make it look like it's part of the mechanism we just built, but it's not. Okay. Hubby is at the store, and I told him I need feta cheese. But he's got to still send me pictures, guys. How many of you send your husband to the store or significant other and they send you pictures? Mine. Okay. When you lay this down, I know it's hard to see right now. You should have a little space. So let me just sneak this piece in to give you an idea. When I lay this down, you should see the little bit of cardstock back there. But you won't be seeing it because it's white. But that way you can see on the camera. Oh, darn blade. Yeah, I only need one thing at the store. I was out of one thing, the feta cheese for the Mediterranean. We got so many vegetables in our garden. I don't know what I'm going to do. I got to start canning next week. Tomatoes. But let me tell you, there's nothing like the tomato out of the garden. It does. The stuff in the store is terrible compared to that. We don't eat tomatoes in this winter. So I'm going to can a whole bunch. I just can them. I just chunk them and can them so they're kind of like fresh and like your diced tomatoes. Okay, let's go ahead. Oh, Monica. Well, you're at my birthday retreat. Oh, no, Jan. Oh, I thought you were saying it was your birthday, Jan, Monica. Never mind. I thought you were soliciting for gifts. That would be funny. You really should. Yeah, no, she wasn't at the birthday. Janice, no, she was at the birthday retreat. Okay, match this to the very top. You guys, it's Monica's birthday, so everybody bring lots of homemade presents for her. Just kidding. Yeah, she is. She's always open for gifts. Okay. Well, I guess the one thing about recordings is I don't talk so much. Sorry. I will try to stick on task here. All right. So there is our first little flap. So when we open this, we want to take our 5x5. Oh, you would have problems. I know in a lot of the eastern states where my husband's from in New Hampshire, you know, there's the deer. We don't quite have that down here because they're up in the mountains. This is my 5x5 that we scored a 1/2 inch. And I'm going to go ahead and miter those corners. And I want you to open your flap. This is going on the flap. So I'm going to turn my book upside down. Yes, me and Monica are in March. This is going to sit to this edge, the outside edge. So here at your gusset, you do have a space. And the reason you won't have a space is you just want your book to close very nice. Well, once you meet her, Monica, you will fall in love with her, and you'll know why we miss her. We missed her in the October retreat, but she was on a fun cruise. Again, to this left side edge. And also, I forgot to check my size here. Okay, that is perfect. Yes. Okay. We're going to match this to the outside. Oh, oh, Janice's birthday is during the retreat. Oh, how fun. Okay, I'm going to turn my book around. So that's how we get this upper flap. Then we want to take the smaller flap we did at 4.5 by 4.5. Let's go ahead and burnish that score line. This really does come together really nice. Okay, but with this closed, okay, so I now have this opened, and I'm going to attach this so it opens like so. And you may need to trim it. I feel it's too long, so I'm going to take it to the half, and I'm just going to go, if you have a 1/16 of an inch on your cutter, I would start by taking a 1/16 of an inch off, or you can mark it with a pencil because you don't want it to hang over the edges. See, and that's all it took. It was just a little bit, or a 1/16 of an inch, if you are able to measure that. And we are going to remiter our corners. They didn't do a good job. There we go. And you can round your corners and do all that fun stuff if you like. I did leave mine square. I'm just super excited for the September retreat. I'm super excited because the projects are so different than some in the past, because we have also a very exclusive paper, but I'm excited to show that to everybody at the retreat. But we just have some really fun things to this retreat. Just super excited about. Okay. Now, when you open, again, I'm going to do a magnet. Excuse me, you don't have to. You can still do a ribbon closure. And I don't know what it is, you guys. Every time I get on the videos now, I'm hungry. I don't get this. Okay, top flap is where it needs to go. Otherwise, it's just not going to hold everything down. And we will remove the backing. Then I always take it off. Yes, we will start getting sneak peeks next week, actually, because I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for Tiffany. She's getting hers done. She was just waiting on some things to arrive still to decorate. Oh, so pretty. Okay, I did not put a tie closure on this one. There we go. Then we will slip 2 tags from our leftover papers, and that's the right hand side. Left hand will take us a little bit more. First, we're going to build a flap. Oops. The waterfall will sit on top of this flap. Okay, so we want to do our flap first. Just move everything and we'll just get to working. Okay, our first piece is going to be double checked here on before I give you an actual size. Okay, 6 1/4 by 8 1/2. Again, it's just a little short of 8 1/2. Oh, let's get all of our sizes. Why did I take that off? We don't need to take that off yet. 6 1/4 by 8 1/2. 5 by 7. That's what we're going to build our waterfall on. Our weather in September during the day is going to be between 80 and 90. Evenings, it's very nice. It gets down to lower 80s, but it's so comfortable because of the mountains. It's so cool. You'll see we're right up against a mountain. And then in the day we're in the air conditioning. So, but it's still tolerable outside, especially compared to Dubai. So 5x7, there is no scoring. 6 1/4, 8 1/2, there will be scoring. Now our waterfall, we need 6, 4 1/2 by 5. So that's our 4 1/2 by 5. Sorry, I have not gone silent. I just got to answer the store. Okay. Only thing with lives, with the store running, but you guys are so patient with me. So 4 1/2 by 5. You need 6 of those. Okay, we need a closure. And my closure for this waterfall is 2x7. Yeah, Nikki, just come naked to the retreat. You don't need clothes. I'm just kidding. Yes, you do. You do need clothes, but you just need layers. So what you need is layers. You need t-shirts with the hoodie over it because you're going to take your hoodie over. You'll need your hoodie in the mornings because we're in the mountains. And then you're going to need to take it off because you're going to be dying in the afternoon. And then, so if you just bring one hoodie, one t-shirt, and a pair of jeans, you're good. And you can, oh, don't forget your underwear. We had someone that did once, and it was hilarious. No, there'll be more in the retreat group. Yeah, Janice wears her nightgown. She really does, you guys. She'll wear her flannel nightgown at night. Okay, my 6 1/4 by 8 1/2. The first thing I want to do is I'm going to grab. Hi, Terry. I want to just take my 6 1/4 by 8 1/2 on my cover. See, mine's going to be a little long. It's sticking over the top a little bit. And we want to take care of that little problem now because if we don't, it's going to be harder to trim later. So I'm just going to put it in the groove of the cutter, and that'll take care of what I need to remove. And we're going to double check just a hair short of 8 1/2, 6 1/4. That's good. So with the 6 1/4 across the top, let's go ahead and score it 1/2 inch. We need a gusset and 3/4. That is, Janice, you know what? Well, I can't go to bed that early, but I really do wish that I was up at 3 or 4. I could get so much crafting done. 2x7, we are actually going to just set this aside. We will score this after we recreate everything. Create everything so we know what we want to do with our closure, how high up into the waterfall we want that to come. Okay, on our 6 waterfall, these I rounded the edges because it keeps them nice and neat. So let's get out our corner rounder. Yeah, you can wear your nightgown all day. You absolutely can. 5 by 4 1/2, and we want the 4 1/2 across the top. And I want you to score at 4 inches on all 6. You know what? I get up, I get dressed. I can't stay in my nightgown all day. I don't know why. My mother did, and I just don't. I get up, I'm dressed. I want to get working. And, working, I'm talking about out in the yard, drinking my coffee, seeing the plants in the garden, going downstairs in my studio, creating something for you guys and me. Because I can't go a day. I do. Sometimes I go Sunday, though, without crafting. But it's hard. Keep sliding. Okay, before we want to do our waterfalls, because I'm going to build them kind of what I call the old-fashioned way on the base. I want to make sure everything's going to line up side to side. I'm not worried about the length. But I like, excuse me, my side to side to be nice. Waterfall base is 5 by 7. And I want to round the corners. Hey, okay. You know what, guys? You're going to have to go way back. But if you go onto Janice's Facebook page, let me tell you, we're going to now round the corners on all of our waterfall pieces, 1/2 inch at the top. And so it's these bottoms that we want to round the 2 pieces. Okay. Her daughter was married, most beautiful wedding. And she stayed on the farm for her daughter, taking care of her chickens. And I got up every morning early just to watch the fanatics. At first, I thought Janice was kidding. I didn't know her that well yet. This was years ago. And she was chasing the chickens around her daughter's garden every morning. And these chickens hated her. They must have, but you'd have to go back. Maybe Janice can dig up that story. Janice, I hope you put it in a book, because the stories, Janice needs to write a book. But her chicken gate was the most hilarious thing I've ever read every single morning. And these chickens attacked her. And they would run from her. It was so funny. They knew her daughter was gone. And it was complete with pictures. Complete with pictures. So those of you at the retreat, you've got a real treat meeting Janice, because that's Janice. And I've missed seeing her. Okay, now waterfalls. We don't want to burnish those corners because we want them to look nice and clean. See, and I don't, Monica, I hate being in my, I don't put that nightgown on until I'm climbing into bed. And then it goes on. I don't like, I don't know. That's weird. I have to be in my clothes. Okay. Now, on your base, what we're going to do is we're just going to start building our waterfall. You know what, Nikki? I'm telling you, you're my daughter from another. Okay, we're going to now add glue across the top. Oh, I do like capris. Okay, we're going to match the first waterfall to the top. Oh, yeah, they learned to fly while her daughter was gone. That's right, Janice. And they weren't staying with Janice. That was hilarious. Times when I need a good laugh, I think of Chicken Gate. Okay, where that waterfall ends, this one begins. And you know, there's tons and tons of waterfall tutorials out. This is like the very old-fashioned way. And so you can also put it against, let me come over to my left-hand side. Your scoreboard. and that will help to keep it straight. And that's one reason I like to use glue, because glue, I can move it. But again, I know Michelle Allen on our design team has a pretty easy method that I've never perfected. I even messed it up once. She made it so easy, I messed it up, but she's got a great one. I can't quite see the top. There we go. Why is this one sticking over the edge? That one just might have been a little bit wider. Okay, we're just going to trim it. So that's where that ends. Oh, I can't sleep in bottoms like that. That's why. A little too much information, huh? Yeah, I have pajama capris like that, Monica, but I only wear them when I stay at the hotels at events, because my nightgowns are longer. But you can see when you have scrapbook events, you go visit the girls' rooms. I mean, this is girls' time, right? Unless they brought their hubbies with them, then we don't go visit their rooms. And you do want to have some PJs on the bottom part when you're running around the halls of the hotels. Yes, we are 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old women running around the hotel to visit our friends in their hotel rooms. Now, our last one, see, the backing makes it look like it is another waterfall, because it's about a ½ inch here on the bottom. Okay. I can just go back and reburnish so everything's nice and flat. This is actually a lot easier for us to mat before we put it on the waterfall. See how nice and neat? Before we put it on the flap. So we won't put this on the flap until after we mat the waterfall, and this does get matte. We have to mat this first too. So, okay, now let's go ahead and burnish that 1/4 inch little gusset there. And then I want to miter the corners. Rid of all those pieces. And let's build our little pocket on the back now before we also put that down. So the gusset's going to be on the left-hand side. We're going to flip this over. Yeah, that is funny, Joe. And we are going to now have this little flap and pocket. So we put the pocket to the bottom. And I have a magnet here. And then this is one of our border strips. And for this, we will want our flat piece. Or is this our pocket piece? This is our pocket piece. And right now it's 6.5, but I did cut it a little bit short. And it's 4.5 inches. And our flap for the top is going to be, right now, 6 inches. by 4.5. We may trim the side a little bit, and I didn't want to trim it beforehand and then have it too short. So I want to put that over to the side. And we're going to score these pieces. And we're going to start with the pocket. And we're going to put the 6.5 across the top, but I did cut it a little bit short. And we want to score it 1/2 inch. Back to 4.5, we're going to score it 1/2 inch. And back to 6.5, we'll score it 1/2 inch. Now we may end up trimming this 6 by 4.5, but we're going to go ahead and score it right now with the 4.5 across the top, and we'll just score it 4 inches. And I did round my corners, but we'll round those corners after we find out our width for sure. Okay, I just want to fold up the two, what we consider two short sides of my pocket. Again, with my hinge to the left and the gusset to the left, we're going to flip this over. And then this first score line, I'm going to match my pocket to the left edge. And I may have cut it too short. It looks like this. Oh no, there's the gusset. I thought, okay, that's what you got to watch for. Actually, let's set, because you need that gusset, that 1/4 inch gusset. So see that first score line? Let's just put the pocket right barely to the edge there, because we want that to fold over nice. So it looks like, see, my pocket's going to hang over just a little bit. So I'm going to take this into my scoreboard, flatten those back out. Excuse me. And it doesn't matter if you want to do it on this side or this side. If you're going to come over here, you're going to rescore this at 5/8 of an inch. Okay. If you're scoring from this side, you would score it 5 7/8. Now we're going to recreate. And there we go. There goes Charlotte. So I like to really flatten that score line out so it doesn't. There we go. So it is 5/8 of an inch, but I'll show you. I cut that off to keep them kind of, well, we don't need that, to keep them kind of symmetrical. And once again, with my gusset, and set it there, and then to the edge. I can't measure or something. Let's try this again. Well, you know, maybe it's me and I can't see this off-white. So apparently I can't measure, guys. The original 1/2 inch was just fine, but that's okay because ivory on ivory is sometimes hard to see. It's still there, and I can use this. But if I was going to keep it at the 5/8 of an inch, I want to show you. I would have taken 1/8 of an inch off, but I don't need to because apparently I didn't have it far enough over. So I'll use my original 1/2 inch. No damage done. I am going to double check. I'm going to close this because apparently I can't measure. No, that is a perfectly good fit. Okay, so we had a little history lesson there. So I know it's going to fit, and I can go ahead and miter out my corners. Making sure I get my original. Again, that's hard to see. Now we can do the bottom. Good morning, Sheila. And I'm still waiting on my new glasses, and that's going to really help me a lot. Because I thought that I didn't need, I'm like, I don't need a stronger prescription now. 6 months later, I need my stronger prescription. And now I have to wait, but they'll be here in about a week and a half, and I can't wait. I think that will help me see those lines better. Yes, Sheila, how are you on Saturday? Okay. Now we can go ahead and we can add this to the bottom. Again, don't cross over any of your score lines, or your cover won't close nice. Okay, before we put our little top on, I want you to grab from your kit. It's going to be different. I'll be honest with you. It will depend on what borders you used on the binder. So it looks like I had cut the yellow off. I'm going to use this one. And so I want to lay this down. I'm not going to mat it yet. Am I going to mat? Can we mat it yet? We could. Yeah, we can go ahead and mat this now. So we want to cut it, but let's get a proper measurement so I don't mess this up. See, mine's just now short a hair of 5.5. So I will take it to, let's see, we want it to be longer than 5.25. Again, I hate to give you 1/16 of an inch, but if you have 1/16 of an inch on your cutter, then you just back it up. We'll go to 5 3/8, then just back it up 1/16, or just take a hair off. Because to me, the 1/16 of an inch is a hair off. So at the top, make sure you cut it correctly. What did I cut that? I don't know. It should have been just fine. Try it again. So mine's just a hair longer than 5 1/4, but that's okay, guys. Am I seeing this wrong? It says 5.5. So we're going to take it to 5 3/8. But we may be using that one. I may. I don't think I have another one. I'm just double checking. We may have another one because I think we have a. Nope. Guess what? If you're working with the kit, double check. You may have it. And that other piece came from my 6x8 paper pad is what it did. Okay. And so we want to cut this about 2 inches so I can pick. I'm going to go with the red. So your 12x12 does look different than your 6x8. Okay, I'm going to go with 5 3/8. I'm telling you what it is. I'm not cutting another piece of paper for this because I don't want to waste it. Okay, I'm going to go with 5 3/8. Measure yours. Now my little lid. Okay, we cut it 4.5 by 6. Very good thing. Because now I'm going to cut it the exact same as I did this top matting, 5 3/8. We want them to match. Okay, they match great. And I did butt right underneath the matting. And let's round our corners. Well, that was just harder than it was supposed to be. I'm just checking side to side on my pocket. And it looks great. So I am going to put it down. Again, it should match side to side on the matting. So we're just going to butt it right to the top. And I did use a magnet, a large magnet on here. So I think okay, I didn't use it for the flaps. No, this is the last one I used, so I did use the 3 sets. And the thing is, we want to put it, see, on the flap, at least thumb width, so you can cover it with your cardstock. But it has to be the same thing on the pocket. Yeah, there's plenty of room, so I can cover it with the paper. Okay, we have the pocket on the inside with the cute little flap. And then we will be putting our waterfall. But let's go ahead. Let's just mat this whole page so we can get it completely matted. Okay, I'm going to use our strawberry. I believe I did. Oh, take that out. But let me show you. I need to put this aside. This is going to be the cover, the Sweet Life. So make sure you do not cut into that one. And see, this was our scraps from our 6x8 ring binder. And we have a 6x8 paper pad. You know, that's not from the 6x8. The 6x8, let me show you. That was from the 12x12. Your 6x8 is smaller. And I'm actually going to use that for the top and then this piece for the bottom. And then I used a piece of the green polka dot stripe that's going to go across the top. Now this piece, because you've got it on the 12x12 and the 6x8, I know some of you won't want to cut it, and that's okay. It's going on the top flap. You don't have to. You can also use the scraps that you want to use. So for instance, if you want to use this scrap we had, it's just bigger strawberries, but we're still going to use this for the top of the flap. And then, you know, you can pick and choose definitely from your scraps. Or if you're making this from the paper collection and you're not using the kit, you can use whatever you like, of course. Okay, so now our flap, and that's the reason the flap is the size that it is. I wanted that cut apart to fit there. And it's going to be 4. So we have to cut our flap, our cut apart down. So we're just going to cut this green first. And again, this is on my 6x8 paper pad. So I'm cutting it at 3 7/8. Now it's our sides. We need to bring that down for our matting at 5 1/4. It is 5 1/4 because this is 5 3/8. So I like to start at like 5 7/8, or no, 5 3/4, 5 1/2. Then I'm just going to take a 1/16 of an inch off, or a hair, and then we're going to take another 1/16 of a hair off. That'll bring us to 5 7/8, or 5 3/8. But I'm double checking, as you can see. Nope, we can go ahead and bring it down. Okay, I'm going to bring another 1/16 of an inch off and then turn it, and we'll bring it to 5 1/4. And that way our sides match. Yes, Terry, there's quite a few walkthroughs. If you just go to the playlist, and I did a walkthrough of it weeks ago, and you can also see you can see the walkthrough along with the Be Happy mini album. And of course you can't watch it yet, but I did a walkthrough in the beginning of this video. This is the one that came in your kit if you purchased the berry sweet. And I'm not sure. I think we have some left in the online. Okay, so now I know my inside piece is going to be 5 3/8 by 3 7/8. There's no question this is a perfect fit. The album cover, you'll follow the Be Happy album cover when I made the chipboard, when we wrapped our album pieces. You'll follow that tutorial because I didn't do the album cover separate because they're both the same size. They're just different on the inside. And you can take this one and make it like the Be Happy. And you can also, use those tutorials for other papers. They're going to be adorable in any of the Doodlebug. Okay. Now let's cut the inside piece from our pink on pink polka dot. Yes, it has that on there. I'm sorry. And I'm going to cut it 3 7/8, but you have more. Let's go this way so we can get rid of that glue. 3 7/8 by 5 1/4. And we'll just round the corners. Now, if you're using a print that's specific in pattern, then you want to make sure it's going to go the right way. Right now, my album's upside down. Nice fit. So do go around your magnet, kind of sealing the paper into the glue. Okay, now the inside, I used our green floral for inside our pocket. And it was the back of our stripes. And I usually go down about 1 inch. So I'm going to cut a piece that's 3 inches, and it should be 5 1/4 again to fit into my pocket. But let me double check. Yes, we're going to go 5 1/4. So 3 inches by 5 1/4. And this is the pattern. Otherwise, I would have just cut it the other way. And 5 1/4. And we want to cover that hinge. See, the rest will just sit inside of our pocket. So this would be a cute place. If you're going to use this as a gift, I would get some wildflower seed packets. How cute to pop those down in there. A couple of different packs. And we want to center that to match the flap. And the pocket. So we're going to go 3 7/8 by 5 1/4. And I'm using the back side. And then I did turn this over and I cut off 1/2 inch. because then I'll cut a 3/8 of an inch, or just, again, a hair short of 1/2 inch, and 5 1/4. And you know, I'm going to do it different because I want to make sure my magnet's covered this time. I'm going to take that to the top, and I'm going to put my green here at the bottom, which is also going to match more of this green, and I like that better. But before I did put it at the top, and that was kind of a mistake because, see, part of the magnet, it was a little difficult to cover, so I did smash it together. It will work and it will cover it, but I think I like it better with the green at the bottom to match. So you can do yours either way. So I'm going to put mine up at the top. It's kind of what I explained when I was showing things yesterday. This is why we as designers we make one, and then we do have changes sometimes during the tutorial, because we realize on our sample it looks great on camera, but it doesn't work out quite as nicely as you guys will be happy with. And getting our paper straight is probably one of the most important, and it was way off. Okay, let's try this again. So I'm not changing it midstream. There we go. To confuse you, I promise. It's just I realized it didn't work as well as I wanted it to on the sample. Oh, you were? Okay, we got that down. Then we're going to put this down here at the bottom. This was from the Petite Prints. Oh, cute, cute, cute. I love this page. I just love these papers. I don't know. They said they did reprint, but I know they're kind of running out, or they ran out. All right, we want to grab our book. And, oh, no, we don't. We need to put our pocket down first. So let's create our pocket just like we did on the left-hand side of our cover. And that was going to be the same size, 6 inches. Again, 9 1/2, but just back it up and cut it a hair short. I've already done that. So again, the 6 by 9 1/2. And the nice thing is this doesn't take a lot of paper, this little folio. Cute gift. And then you could, out of that pouch that you purchased, Monica, you could make, if you don't make the binder, you're going to make probably 2 or 3 of the, maybe 3. You could probably make 3 of these using your white cardstock, because I was very conservative because I wanted to keep as much of this paper because they have run out at Doodlebug. Okay, again, your long side, which is 9 1/2 at the top, I want you to score it 1/2 inch. And we're going to turn it to the 6 inch side. We're going to score again at 1/2. I'm going to score it at 5 1/2. It's just easier on this side for me than to get my fingers over there. And turn it back to this side 1/2 inch. It used to be real easy. I don't know why I'm having I got fat fingers, that's why. Okay, once again, just the two short sides. I am going to burnish those and check the fit on my cover. Because the thing here is we need to put, I'm just double checking. Oh, I think I put, nope, I did put that flap on top of this pocket. Okay, towards the hinge is where the back will be, and I'm just checking my fit lengthwise. It's a vertical pocket again, and as long as you cut it just a hair short of 9.5, it will fit perfect. And let's miter the corners. Don't like to cut through the score line because I don't like holes in the bottom. Okay, I'm just going to take a little off of there. Let's reburnish those flat. Okay, grab your cover, and this will sit about 1/8 of an inch away, again, from the fold. So stay away 1/8 of an inch from your hinge area. Did I put my ruler back? I did not. Make sure nothing got glued down that wasn't supposed to. In these pockets, see, we'll use our leftover textured cardstock, and we'll make our tags that go in there. Okay, now I can grab my flap that we just created and push your hinge out so you see your 1/4 inch gusset. And it's going to sit right on this edge of your pocket. Right there on the edge. And we will get to matting the waterfall here in just a moment. But I want to go ahead and build the right hand side. And then I'm going to break for lunch, and I'll be back. Because we are going to finish this afternoon. So we can start Nature's Haven chipboard album. But you also have our design teams done some cute ones too. Okay, we're now going to create this right hand side. which is a flap, a little waterfall, and we're going to build it again on another one of these flaps. And this one, did I put a gusset on here? Nope, I did not. We didn't need one. It's been a while since I built it. Okay, I set that aside, and our pieces for this are going to be, let's start with the flap, the bigger one. Six inches by 8.5. And again, I did already cut mine just a little bit short of 8.5. So once again, that is 6 inches. Whoops, 6 inches by 8.5. I'm just looking at my instructions here to see where I wrote that down, so I make sure I'm giving you the exact correct measurements. Yep, 6 by 8.5. Then this bottom flap piece is 5.5 by 4.5. So 4.5 by 5.5, but that's not. That's our waterfall base. So hold on a minute. It's 5 by 6. Somebody's blocking somebody on the stairs. Sorry, just a moment. These beagles. Excuse you two. He wants to go upstairs. You're going to fight? You're naughty. If you've ever seen a picture, what happens is Wilbur used to block Homer from going upstairs when he was a puppy. Now Homer is up at one of the top stairs. Wilbur's down towards the bottom. They're both spread out. But Wilbur wants to go upstairs, and Homer won't let him. And so Homer's being naughty. I can't say what he is on camera. Okay, we need a flap that is 5 7/8 by 5. So I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. Waterfall base. We don't have a waterfall base. We have waterfalls. We didn't build these ones on the base. These are going to be 3 3/8 by 4.5. And we want 3 of those. Then I'm very sorry. I am not sure what this little 4.5 by 5.5 is. I may double cut. No, it's, oh, I guess I double cut something. Okay, well, we'll hang on to that. And just go with your 5 7/8 by 5. Enough. 3 3/8 by 4.5, 3 of those. And our door flap is going to be 6 inches by 8.5. Okay. These are tuck pockets for later. And we have a closure. Oh my gosh, you know, I feel bad. I did tell you guys a story. I guess I used 5 magnets in this album. So 5 magnets or tie closures. So this is going to be 1.5 by 5. Sometimes it's hard to tell where you put your magnets. Let's start with our 6 by 8.5 inch piece of cardstock. I'm going to beat them. You're going to score at the 6 inch side. At the top, you can score at 1/2 inch or 5.5. Let's go ahead and score the bottom flap, which is your 5 7/8, and then 5. So we want the 5 7/8 across the top of our scoreboard, and we're going to score at 1/2 inch. Miss Charlotte she's outside laying in the sun. And trust me, if Miss Charlotte was down here with them, she'd beat them both up. She's just like my daughter, Kara. Okay, our waterfall, they're 3 3/8 by 4.5. And for these, we need to have the 4.5 across the top. And we're going to score at 1/2 inch. I'm just going to score at 4. And 4. Again, our closure will wait because we want to put it across to see how far we want it to cover our waterfall. It goes underneath actually our matting. Okay, let's get these guys built and then we'll break for lunch and I'll be back. I hope you'll be back with me. If not, you can watch the recording. Okay, we're going to do the flap first. And this one is pretty easy to mat, so we'll put this down. Okay, we have that to the left. Now, this piece, see the top of our pocket? We don't want to go past that because we're going to use it. So this is where we're going to lay it down and do some checking, because if it's too wide, and it does really depend on your scoring and how you cut, you don't want it in that gusset there. And so I'm going to take a little bit off. This is 5.5 inches. So I'm just going to move it and take a 1/16 of an inch off that edge. Because you don't want it to get in the way. Okay. I don't have a magnet on this. I have the magnet on the waterfalls, the 2 closures. So I'll show you. You can also use ribbon, but I used that magnet, but I didn't use any on this bottom. So let's go ahead. This is that bigger 5 7/8, and that's why we cut this 5 7/8, because I knew we'd probably have to trim this, and we just want a little bit of a gap. We don't want a lot. And I'm going to go ahead and round my corners. Well, hi, Homer. Nice of you to get off the stairs. Oh, he's naughty. Poor Wilbur. I'll bet he had to go potty. But it sure is funny to watch, you guys. Okay, it's going to sit just all the way to the bottom. You know what, Janice, you're going to love Miss Charlotte, because when you know, she's bigger, but she just kind of does her own thing. She doesn't, and if the boys are in her way, the 2 boy beagles, she just, like, if she was their human sister, she would literally just kick them out of the way. She don't put up with nothing. She's like, get out of my way. Okay. Because this is under another flap, the big one, I didn't put a closure. You don't need it. The flap holds it closed really nice. Now, before we add our waterfall to the top, this is where you want to check that there's a gap so that they can both open freely. And let me see something. Nope, I did not. I put these down first and then I do the matting. Okay. We don't want to miter our corners. And I go along the edge of my paper because it helps to flatten that cut line. Sometimes, I don't know if your cutters will do it. All mine do it. Kind of makes a, I don't know, a little bumpy area there. So I like to score it down. Yeah, and my daughter was, you know, Kara Janice, though. She was my Lexi's mom. She's my only girl, and I had all boys. Oh, yeah. She was the scary one. Okay, I'm going to turn this sideways so I can watch. I want this waterfall to be right at the top and right at the edge. Again, do not miter your corners. Kara would still beat her brothers up. Okay, where one ends, the other one starts. Okay, then we will map this area. And what will happen is we'll put the closure underneath our cardstock when we mat, or that's where you can you can add ribbon to make a ribbon closure, you know, on the top here. And that's our cute little flap. And then on the inside, I just do, we'll be doing that in a minute. We'll do our collaging, kind of like, whoops, photo mat. And then that. Okay, let's grab the book. So we will add this to the top of our pocket. Corners are already mitered. So let me turn it this way. Just line it up to the edge of our pocket. See, and then this will keep it nice and closed. And this will straighten out better when we put our waterfall on top. Okay, we have 2 tuck pockets. I think this turned out so cute. I'm really excited to use it. I have 2 tuck pockets, and when I use the term tuck pockets, they're not gusseted, and we will be laying them down. They're just to put little tags or and we will have to trim them, but we do want to map first. And so I will just place those inside of my book. They are 3.5 right now, 3.5 by 5.5. We may trim those down. So I'm just gonna put them in your pocket. We're gonna close that, and I'm gonna break for lunch. So I'm gonna go eat lunch, and it's 11 o'clock here, so I'll be back at 11:30 my time. and we're going to mat and finish our book. So we will have that done this afternoon. And then this evening, you can see my walkthrough yesterday. Check out my live yesterday morning. We're going to actually be starting. I don't have it right here with me. Tonight, we're going to make the cover and we're going to build our pages for Nature's Haven. So we're going to start that tonight, my time, which is going to be probably like about 5:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, but it will be recorded. And I want to get all my tutorials done because I promised you all these tutorials, and they will be done. In fact, guess what? We're going to knock a bunch of them out this week. I'm going to be doing all next week 2 tutorials at a time, one in the morning and one at night. So you want to know why? There's more great stuff. So we need to finish this. We need to do the beach. I have my list, and we're getting them done this week. Oh, and Nature's Haven. And let's celebrate. We're going to get them. Well, we won't get Let's Celebrate done, but we're going to try. I'm going to do them live. I want the recordings up for you, and you can work on them at your own pace. And then I can move on because I need to do the newbie one from 49 Market. So that kit is online, and it's going to be a 3-ring binder. I won't be doing a chipboard with it. One of my designers will. And I'm telling you, the designers, oh my gosh, Jen Dubell's Beach Chipboard album is gorgeous. So you've got lots of choices. Okay, guys, I'll see you in half hour. Thanks for being here this morning. Bye-bye.